Welcome to the Full Dive Gaming Podcast, bringing you a full dive of all the news, discussion, and insights you need for virtual reality gaming. This podcast is brought to you by Asterion Products, and if you're seeing us on YouTube today, you see some gorgeous VR merch on the screen. We're not wearing them right now, but that's okay. Check them out on AsterionProducts.com and use code FULLDIVE to save $5 on any order of $20 or more. So this is a different voice than you usually hear at the start of the podcast, and that is because our wonderful host Jay Brat is out gallivanting in Florida, and we decided we're just gonna keep on going. So this is me, Nat Brat, talking right now. And I also want to officially welcome our new additional host, Assassin32.
Hello,
We're
everyone.
Be hearing more from him. And you've already met him if you listened to our last episode. But now we're going to be officially welcoming him to the team. So as I mentioned, I'm Nat Brat. I'm a VR enthusiast who wishes it was colder out right now because it's fall.
And I'm Lipnox VR, a VR YouTuber who can't wait for some upcoming games to come out.
And I'm Assassin32 VR, a YouTuber who knows that Jay Brat's actually at a Jonas Brothers concert.
So our podcast is here to keep you up to date in the VR realm. We answer questions from our communities, followed by some of the latest and greatest VR news, and then we discuss the games we've played recently. If you haven't seen our YouTube channel, we are sitting here face to face, so come out on YouTube where you can engage with us through comments and our very occasional live streams. We haven't done one of those in a long time. Maybe we'll start doing those again. So we're going to start out with the Q&A. And since we're welcoming Assassin32 to the team, Assassin, do you want to start us out with the Q&A?
Yeah, I'm going to actually skip to the second question, though, because the first one doesn't involve me. So
how about I read the first one then?
Yeah, go for it.
The first one is Chili's94. Do you guys regret giving the Discord the chance to spam you with all hundreds of questions? Yes, absolutely. And I promise you, that's why you haven't seen the episode yet, because we regret it hugely. It's a lot of editing.
I do not regret answering the questions. I do regret having to edit them.
Yeah, I can imagine 100 questions is not an easy game.
It's got to be a nightmare.
Okay, so take us to our second question.
Next question is from Theron. What has been the hardest question to answer out of the 100?
Oh, it's another one that doesn't involve you, Assassin. That's okay.
Still doesn't involve
I know
me.
exactly the answer for this one. And it was when I had to take a shot of the hot sauce, which they will not see unless this episode happens to come out after the 100. But promise you, if you guys wait for that whole 100 episode, I drink hot sauce at one point.
It was an exciting time. And Theron also asks, when is the next time you plan to stream on Twitch or YouTube? So we kind of alluded to that earlier. It's been a long time since we've done that, but maybe soonish. We're really trying to get back into more of a regular schedule. So
we should do Full Dive Live. Just start off with like the four of us playing Walkabout or something.
That would be fun. There you go. That's a good idea. We'll get it in the works.
So the next question here from Jimmy on the Rocks 593 is, what is your favorite VR dungeon crawlers?
Ooh.
And for me, there was a game for PC VR called Everslot that came out a couple of years ago. And I got hugely into it. I don't really know how much updates it's had. It had a special like Onslaught quest only version that was kind of like a optimized lesser version people weren't the biggest fan of. But that was a lot of fun to me. I know a lot of people have more complex, like fuller games, but when it comes to just getting in there and doing something, I really loved Everslot.
Nice. What about you, Assassin?
Oh, on the dungeon crawlers, I'm a Dungeons of Eternity guy. I just can't get away from it. I wish it would kind of expand more, and they've added a lot, but I wouldn't mind having like a story on that one because I can live in that game.
Yeah, that is a really good one. I like that one because I feel like I'm like in Demeo. Does Demeo count as a dungeon crawler? Probably not.
I was thinking that. It is a dungeon crawler, kind of.
It is. So I would say Demeo, of course, because, that's pretty much my favorite VR game.
Yeah, it's a top-down dungeon crawler.
It is. It's so good. And Jimmy on the Rocks was also asking, anyone like Attack on Titan? I'm guessing he means the VR game.
So admittedly, I did have the thing set up last time. I don't have it right now, but I have one of the Attack on Titan figures, one of the main figures, one of the expensive, $60 figures. And when that show first came out, I was super into it, and then it took like a million years for season 2 to come out, and I kind of like lost interest. I played the original side quest Attack on Titan game that came out, and they've come out with the new like VR one that's like beta or something. It's like $6 or $5 or something, and I haven't played that, but I gotta be honest, I watched the trailer and it just doesn't look very good to me.
That game came out and just got trashed. I mean, like people looked at it and said, this is horrible. I don't want to play it. There's no detail. But then when it actually came out and people played it, all of the reviews went positive. So it's one of those things. I mean, sometimes you need great graphics and detail and sometimes you just don't. It just has to be a good game.
Yeah. Sometimes you just need to actually play it before you leave a review.
It looked bad enough that I didn't play it, but I will give it a shot. Between now and the next episode, I will do it.
All right. We're going to have to start doling out, like giving everyone assignments. Like, okay, Assassin, you have to play Attack on Titan.
And J-Brat's not here, so let's get him to play What the Bat, like a marathon. 12-hour What the Bat marathon.
Oh, I love it.
All the dance games go straight to Jay.
Yes. Oh, I want to play the dance games.
So okay, it's funny because the next question actually kind of lines up with the previous question with Attack on Titan. But Sky7247 asks, when are more RPGs with Japanese origins going to be available for VR? And I have a strong suspicion that the amount of releases we've had for Japanese RPGs is probably going to be consistent in the entire span of VR. I just don't think it's going to be an industry that Japan jumps onto in a way that's really going to make big games. But it's fun to play the things they do release, mostly shorter experiences. VR games are extremely expensive, and in Japan, they're very resourceful with how they make games. You'll see it with a lot of games on like PS4, PS5, that are Japanese games are seeming like they're decades behind in technology just because they're smart how they spend money. And, I don't blame them, but you're probably not going to get the games you want.
Assassin, do you have anything to add?
Not a clue. I was going to add to that. I have no clue when any new games are coming that fit the Japanese origin RPG.
It's a good thing Lipnox had some ideas because otherwise it would have just been crickets.
It's a good thing I read this Q&A last week, the last time we did a podcast.
So last Q&A question is from Theron. Can you review the new Astro Bot versus the VR version specifically? I know people are wanting this, and I can't think of anyone better than Nat to make it happen.
Aw. I don't think it specifically said my name, but I feel like I have such a hard time with this because I'm so mad that the new Astro Bot game is not VR that it makes me not want to play it, but I know it's probably really, really good. And if I had a reason to go back and play Astro Bot again, then I feel like I would do it. So this is now on my assignment list. We seriously have to make an assignment list now. I'm getting excited, you guys.
See, I think you would love it. And you're going to miss the VR version, but I still think you love Astro Bot enough that you should do it.
I think the hassle that will be not having to put on the headset to get into the game might actually make her play it more than when she had the other game, because it's a huge hassle to put all the stuff on. This is just turn the TV on, you're playing the game, and it's Astro Bot. Like, it's fun. You know it's going to be fun. It's Astro Bot.
And then comparing it to the VR, the PS VR 1 game would make it still relevant to the podcast.
Totally would.
All right. So we're moving on to our news section. But first, our sponsor for today's news section is Asterion Products. Get some awesome VR sweaters, mugs, and more with code FULLDIVE on AsterionProducts.com.
#SpreadVR.
Assassin, do you want to tackle our first news piece?
Yeah, so the Quest 3S is very likely launching in the first half of October. Pico 4 Ultra just released, where it's available. As of recording today, the Immersed VR visor has been revealed. And just yesterday, HTC revealed the HTC Vive Focus. Is VR finally hitting its stride on the way to becoming mainstream? And you guys have an answer to that. Got another question here in a sec.
Man, how is HTC even still making headsets? Who's buying them? Who's buying these headsets?
I got to tell you, I saw the new one.
Cool.
Oh, it's amazing. It sounds amazing.
Really cool. I feel like it's really hard answering the question of, is VR hitting its stride on the way to becoming mainstream? Because I feel like I don't necessarily think it's ever going to really become mainstream. What I think is going to become mainstream is like AR glasses and stuff, because people just want something that's easy and simple. But I think it's definitely getting back into like the public eye, and it's definitely we don't have any of those debates anymore, like, oh, VR's dead, blah blah blah. Like there's been a resurgence for sure, I think.
Like the HTC Vive Focus, I went on the website. It says it's going to be standalone. What kind of like storefront do they offer that will allow them to even be standalone?
It's interesting. I mean, it's standalone. It's PCVR, but it's also standalone. It's going to have a up to 2 terabyte micro SD slot for you to load games onto. Just where are those games going to come from?
It's going to be movies. I'm not going to have any to load on this thing. But
That
I
is a good
guarantee you,
point.
it's going to be great for people that love VR chat because I think it has full body tracking without having to buy extra stuff.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, lots of tracking, hot swappable batteries,
Love
display
those hot
port
swappable batteries.
is coming.
And how much
tracking.
is it?
$1,000.
$1 million.
$1 million. $1,000. That's pretty freaking good.
Better than
That
I
is
thought.
not bad. Not bad at all.
And they're kind of taking aim at the Apple Vision Pro in a way. They even actually put Vision in the name and then went through it. And it's like they just went down the list and said, what did they do and what can we do a little bit better? And did pretty well, except for they used the XR2 Gen 1 processor from the Quest 2 era. I guess the deal with that, though, is they don't expect that to be doing a lot of heavy-duty processing, except for the standalone games that we may or may not see.
Yeah.
Puzzling Places. We were gonna get all the ones that were on that other headset. Whatever that like one they did that was like the super standalone one. We'll get that storefront. Puzzling Places and just all those little puzzle games. And
Sure.
Behind the Frame.
I hope not.
That did not look good. I didn't touch that one, but I saw the episode.
I
Oh
accidentally
my
touched that, and it was
gosh.
terrible. And then she accidentally touched it too, and then we both had to touch it again. It was horrible experience. Absolute horrible experience. And I paid money for that. I paid real money for that game. I thought it was going to be a Studio Ghibli game. I was so excited. You know what? Let's not talk about Beyond the Frame. Let's move to the future. And let's talk about the Quest 3S name seemingly confirmed in leaked Meta support page. And I figure, pretty much the podcast is going to revolve around the Quest S or Quest 3S for the next 2 months, probably. Every question imaginable. But basically, we've been talking about it already. If we haven't caught you guys up because you haven't watched the old episodes, they haven't come out yet. Pretty much the Quest 3S has a whole bunch of stipulations about basically being pretty much a Quest 2 with a Quest 3 sort of shell and Quest 3 pass-through. We don't know exactly everything about it, but since it's about to come out in probably a month, we are probably going to find that out before this podcast even drops. What do you guys think?
They're doing a great job of keeping this one quiet because typically by now they would have left one in a hotel room for someone to find, and some VR YouTuber that happens to work at the hotel finds it and does a story on it. I mean, that's typically what we see. But they've been so quiet. Even Jay mentioned it when we talked last time that he's got no information. He hasn't signed anything saying he can't talk about it because they haven't told him anything about it. So it's been pretty quiet.
And we've got Connect coming up very soon.
Yes.
So it's pretty surprising that we haven't heard more, but I'm guessing they're just saving it for Connect. Although last year, all they talked about at Connect was AR. Not AR. All they talked about was AI. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, it's not the metaverse anymore, at least.
Oh my gosh. They just cannot figure out their identity. They're changing all the stuff. The Quest store is now the Meta Horizon store. It's like, oh my gosh.
I literally think that is Zuck, waking up in the morning and going, Meta. I want to call it Meta. And then he has a meeting and now it's Meta. This is kind of what happens at your own home. You have an idea, you implement the idea. He just does it on a much larger scale.
True.
He's like, hey, Rockstar, I'm doing a Meta Connect today. Can we announce a game? Where's the game? It's in development because Mark Zuckerberg said it is. Who knows? I completely agree with you. That's the one reason that I actually do like Facebook and Meta. Is one of the only companies that has complete control with one person that can say whatever he wants and do whatever he wants with his money. And that's why we even have headsets. They're bleeding money like crazy because he says, I love VR. Let's do it.
Yeah. He's literally like, VR is really neat. Let's go spend billions on it.
Yeah. I'm going to lose all my money for you guys.
Right.
Sorry.
it's finally been like driving the industry forward. It kind of brought it back, and now things are getting better. We have more competition going on, which is nice.
Which we were kind
Do
of
we
talking
care
about
that
that.
much about the Quest 3S? Because I don't.
I mean, I would have a Quest 3 that's going to be better than the Quest 3S, so I don't care very much.
Yeah.
But
I was just saying, I don't care for me personally. I have the Quest 3. If Quest 4 came out tomorrow, I would get a Quest 4. But I think for the industry, I think this is going to be much better than people realize. I think they've had a year of looking at the Quest 3 and going, how can we make it a little cheaper, a little faster, do a few things. Even, it's using the same processor, but it's using less power intensive optics, which means that the frame rates should go up. There's lots of little tweaks that they can do to it. If you look at where the Quest 3 started a year ago and look where it is now, they've already
especially.
Yes.
Everything they've done with pass-through and with the menus and hand tracking, and it's all so much better. So I think the Quest 3S is going to be better than we think, but it's still the lesser version.
Yeah.
The benefit I see with this whole situation is when the Quest 2 came out, the Meta headsets completely exploded because it was the first time we had a standalone headset that was affordable. And now this is going to be the first time we have a standalone color pass-through mixed reality headset. So all these people that are saying, I don't have $700 or whatever the Quest costs in America, I know for Canada it's like $700, they can be like, hey, I can afford it now.
True.
Yeah. I honestly think that it's smarter for them now because there's a million pass-through games, whereas when I got the Quest 3, there was nothing. Not like there was pass-through, but it was barely pass-through, and they didn't interact with the environment usually. Now it's just everything.
Yeah, there's tons of stuff.
At $300, it actually becomes something that when mom and dad are Christmas shopping and they see it in the store, they can go, you know what, it's a bit expensive, but we can do it. And Quest 3 at $550 entry point is not that kind of a thing.
Right.
And then now that there's no Quest 2s on the shelves, grandma and grandpa won't buy the wrong one for their grandkid. If they get a Quest 3, it's going to work. If they get a Quest 3S, it's going to work. So I don't know. I think this Christmas season, it could kind of explode, especially if it gets packaged with Batman.
I bet that'll happen. Yeah, that's a really good point. I'm being so selfish. Like, well, I don't care for myself because I have a Quest 3. But yeah, that's a really good point. It makes sense. Like, do you think it's going to be as big as Quest 2 when Quest 2 came out?
No.
Not excited.
Quest 2 had COVID.
And Quest 2 is still really good.
So Quest 2 had COVID, which caused a lot of people that were just sitting at home to say, I'll try this thing. And then Quest 2, every once in a while, let's see, I'm on this side right there. Every once in a while, I will put that thing on and I'm always looking at it going, it's not bad. It's really not bad.
Admittedly, I've had the Quest 3 for nearly a year here, and I really don't have any. I don't even understand the difference between the Quest 2 and the Quest 3, other than the color pass-through. The headset's nicer to wear, and the controllers are better. That's the end of the day for me. I'm happy it doesn't have the rings on the end that can bash into things.
Yeah,
$700
Quest 2
well
is
spent.
solid. So our next little news piece, VR's most immersive kayaking game now has real-time multiplayer mode on PSVR 2 and Steam. And that game is Kayak VR Myrage that came out in 2022. And it's been a benchmark for immersive VR experiences, boasting diverse environments and racing modes. One key feature was missing, the real-time multiplayer exploration. And that changes today, the day of recording, so it might not be today when this comes out. The latest update enables a seamless co-op paddling through breathtaking glaciers and serene tropical coastline. Very exciting. I have meant to go into Kayak VR, but I haven't yet. I really want to try it. Assassin, you said you were going to try it today?
Yeah, it actually happened to go on sale. It's like 30% off right now on Steam. So I was going to get it anyway. And then when I saw we were doing this news piece, I grabbed it, spent some time in there today. It's a beautiful game. It's absolutely gorgeous. I actually tried to do the co-player, couldn't find anyone.
Sad.
It's the first day. So maybe us talking about this will get some people to jump in there and check it out again. But it's a beautiful game. I should have got it a long time ago. And it's a heck of a good workout. I was breathing pretty hard.
Have you played Kayak VR?
So I played when it first came out. I played the PC VR version. I haven't gone back since. And admittedly, I don't know, my computer's not the best in the world, So I kind of felt like the way it was like optimizing the resolution to work on my headset so it wouldn't be laggy. It wasn't the most beautiful experience that I was sold with videos I watch online, but playing it, I could definitely feel that if you could give me another friend to hang out and just kayak like friends and just chill in this place, that is going to be a huge, huge win. And when I saw that news piece, I was like, this should have been here from day one, but I'm glad it's here now.
So maybe this is another thing we have to put on the docket for maybe a full dive live. We could just kayak. And I really want to try it on PSVR too, because I have not gone into PSVR too much except for playing like racing games. What is the one? I can seriously never
Gran
remember
Turismo?
the name of anything. Yes, Gran Turismo. What? Okay, when we were recording our episode for Freeland, I could not remember Grand Theft Auto, like the name of the game Grand Theft Auto. I just can, I don't know what is wrong with my brain.
It's kind of a niche game anyway. People don't know much about it.
I heard they were trying to make one for VR. It didn't even happen. So
yeah, there's no point.
Yeah, not relevant to this podcast.
Not at all.
So it sounds like you haven't touched the PSVR too much, which I actually had a question. I was going to see if you guys have hooked it up to a computer yet and tried that out.
No.
I don't even have a PSVR 2. I don't even have a PS5.
Yeah, I have not tried hooking it up to PC yet. Eventually we'll probably do that. But we just have played it so little that there hasn't been much point. Like Gran Turismo though is really cool because we have a little like driving sim kind of setup. So that's super fun. If there was Astro Bot for PSVR 2, I would play it, but there isn't. But anyway, I'll try Kayak
You know what there
VR.
is though? Not guess what there is. They have Max Mustard for PSVR 2.
Heck yeah, they do.
I don't want to play it. I never want to play that game again.
See, I liked
Max
it.
Mustard hater.
I did like it too. I was the only person who liked it on the podcast. I got Jay and Nat destroying me for half an hour.
I mean, I
feel like we got you on our side because you were like, I like it, and then we started talking about it. You're like, well,
I said it's not going to change. It's not going to change the world, but I bet you the developer's rolling over at his grave watching that video. He's
I hope
jumping
the
off the
developer
plank.
didn't watch the video. I hope the developer saw the thumbnail and was like, no, I don't want to watch this.
I kept looking at it and thinking that, yeah, it would be great if it was Astro Bot, but it's not. And we're not going to get Astro Bot. So let's try this out. And I was pleasantly surprised. I thought it was really good.
I'm just too much of a fangirl, I guess. Like, I just want Astro Bot. If Demeo was like not available and I had to settle for something else, I would be like, no. Like, I want the game I want.
So you just find your favorite and stick to it then.
Yes, it's true.
It's funny. Someone actually posted a comment on Facebook and they said, oh, my friend, barely plays any different VR games. And I'm like, I bet you the people that barely play any VR games are the people who play VR the most, because I have so many games that I don't even want to play the game I don't want to touch the headset half the time because most of the games I get bored of quickly. But if you had me like on a regular rotation of a shooter like Pop 1 or Onward or, Zero Caliber 2 or something, and then a rotation of like VR chat or something, I feel like those two games alone, I'd probably spend more time than all the millions of indie games that I play right now.
Yeah. That's a really good point.
I kind of thought about it this morning, and I haven't played VR for fun in probably a week and a half. I have been play testing games. I've been playing lots of games, and I've been having fun in those games, but kind of as an assignment for a game to talk to the developer and say, here's some fixes you might want to make. I've been having a great time, though. This has been a heck of the last 2 weeks have been a really good time.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I have not touched my headset just because I want to play something in about a week and a half.
Sad. So sad. Speaking of games, do you guys have any more stuff you want to talk about Kayak VR, or should we move on to the game section?
I would just say that if you are a PlayStation VR 2 owner and you're feeling the burn of no games, that Kayak game's actually pretty good. And you're going to see some pretty awesome visuals that are actually going to make use of that expensive PS5 and that expensive PSVR 2. And Quest people, they ain't getting none of this, I promise you.
No, I can't imagine. And I actually tried Marineverse kayaking right afterwards and just kind of went, oh no. It was just tough.
They're doing their own thing. I like the company, but I promise you that the graphics are not what you can do on. That's more of like an open world like simulation. Kayak VR is more like a Kayak VR Myrage thing is more of like a almost like a visualizer to me. It's like a hangout place, whereas like the
Mm.
Marine one is like, you better know how to do all the things. They have this
Yeah.
boating game. You don't know how to move all the parts on the boat. You're just floating in the sea.
And I'm not sure that marine versus kayaking has been optimized for Quest 3 yet either. I mean, when Quest 2 eventually goes away, they might be able to do some upgrades on it. They're doing some pretty amazing stuff with the Quest 3 exclusives other than Hitman. I said it. That's right. I said it.
Yeah, I don't care. The only game I've been
man.
having fun recreationally with on headset is Hitman.
Really?
I'll take the loss. I'll take the loss for everyone else. I'm having fun.
I had a really good time just reading the reviews. And I am telling you, some of these people are just review bashing. They're just kind of going along with it and they're lowering that score. But there was some entertaining reviews in there. Actually, I think I ran across Lipnox's review.
Ooh.
I won't lie. There was one day that I went in the headset and I went into the Dubai level and I loaded up before the update happened and I was like, wow, this looks absolutely like my eyes are bleeding right now. How bad this looks. But I don't know. Most of the levels didn't have that issue, and when they did the update, they had some weird optimization thing where all the characters looked like they were just nothing. And whatever they've done,
Very
they said,
optimized.
we're not doing that anymore, and that seems to be gone. That was what the update seemed to fix. It was like the only thing they fixed. But
I saw somebody playing and they shot someone and these white blocks shot out of the person's head. Looked like Minecraft blocks kind of popping out.
Fun.
And I just went, that's not blood. Blood doesn't look like white
any blood.
squares.
I think they even got rid of those squares too. I haven't even seen those.
Really?
Oh.
But I will say I've seen NPCs completely like vanish in front of me and just not that you'd see them walking past. They're clearly invisible. And I'm just like, all right. But admittedly speaking, if you played Hitman your whole life like I have, series has never been one for perfection. Glitches and silly things happening is just the name of the game. The original game, ragdoll physics, you just got there was a gun you could get a cheat code for, and it was a nail gun. You could nail the people to the wall. It was just stupid fun. They did that game for the VR one.
See, it doesn't have to have graphics that are so amazing. Grand Theft Auto San Andreas on Quest was not going to look amazing, no matter what they did. But if it's fun, it's fun.
That's true.
After Hitman, it'll never come out. I guarantee you that San Andreas is officially done. They will never come out with that game because it'll be received the exact same way as Hitman, if not worse, because of the hype.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going on to our game section, and I think I'm supposed to talk about Asterion again. Asterion Products. Go to AsterionProducts.com. Use code FULLDIVE for $5 off any order of $20 or more. All right.
And
so
don't forget,
Lipnox,
they can get those sweet, sweet mugs and those sweet sweaters.
Thank
that frog
you.
sweater looks super awesome.
It does. It does.
And
Thank you,
the
Lipnox.
owner is a really cool dude. Like,
Yeah.
support cool people. That's
Yes.
definitely one of them.
Lipnox, you want to tell us about Wordle?
So I went in the store today, and or I think it was today. I don't know. Maybe it was yesterday. And I go and I see Wordle, and I'm like, that's the game that my godmother constantly posts on Facebook things. What is it now? It's in VR. Awesome! I got so excited. Let's add it to the thing. We're gonna have this great VR added to the thing. Hey guys, this is gonna be quick. It's free. Let's just play this game. I boot it up. Oh, it's not even a VR game, but it's actually really cool. I don't know if you guys want to explain it fully, but basically, Wordle is like this puzzle word game that got popular in New York Times, and it's extremely popular with older people. Play it on Facebook and on their phones and stuff. I don't fully understand the rules, but I did play with the app today. But the one thing I wanted to say about the app that I really liked, and I hope they keep doing this, is the Quest has one huge shortcoming. No Android storefront. There's no Google Play Store. There's no attaching to Samsung. I mean, even if they made a deal with Amazon, they could do with Amazon has an Android storefront too. They're not doing that, and because of that, we're missing out on a lot of apps to be perfect for mixed reality and pass through. Especially now that we can do multiple windows and we move them around. Now we got Wordle, so we don't need everything, but we got Wordle. So have you guys played Wordle before?
I have, and my mom likes it. And she was the reason that I ever played Wordle. It's pretty fun.
I played it when the hype first got big, and I did like a 15-day streak or something. And then one day there was like a glitch that happened, and it failed me.
Oh.
And I went, I'm never touching this again. No, I'm not doing it. And then Wordle came to VR, and today I did it. And I looked, and there was an opportunity to post my results, and I didn't do it. I chickened out.
Did you do really bad?
No, I think it was like maybe the 5th line down. I got it.
Nice. And so, just to go a little more in depth about Wordle, you guess the daily Wordle in 6 tries or less, and each guess needs to be a valid 5-letter word. And each time you guess, the color of the tiles will change to show how close your guess was to the word.
Yes.
So,
And it turns the letter green if you got it at the exact right letter in the exact right column. And then I think it was like yellow or brownish, maybe. I can't remember now. If you got the right letter, but it's in the wrong spot. It gets a little tense. You get down to that 6th row and you don't have it. Start getting tense.
dun dun dun. And so I tried to play it in VR today, but I did not have my headset available. So,
It's on tour with the Jonas Brothers.
yes. So I'm wondering, was there any motion sickness in this at all? I wouldn't think there would be, but
There
I
was no
always wonder.
motion.
Okay.
There's no motion
There's
in the
no
game.
motion,
There's
so
no
there's no
motion.
way to have motion sickness.
It's a white screen.
and
You get to
is
type
it-
in letters on.
And it's free.
Yeah, completely free. But
Yeah.
you get your 1-day question, and then the app is useless until tomorrow. So
So like,
Yes.
why
At
is
midnight,
this
you get
in
a new
VR?
word.
I feel like that's what people have been asking. Like, why?
so that people can watch movies and do their video conferencing calls, and then they can play Wordle at the same time.
Good point.
You can literally be playing VR chat in the game, like or whatever. Play VR chat in VR chat, still talk to your friend, and then you can open this Wordle app in front of you in VR chat and still play Wordle and VR chat at once. Like,
Oh yeah.
you know.
Now you know what I'm doing this
I
weekend.
want more apps like that. Like I'm dying for these real like 2D apps because this is the problem for me is that when the Quest 3 came out, they hyped it up like I was going to be able to design this awesome thing in my living room, but
Yeah.
aside from one application that honestly didn't even load that well for me, I didn't even like that Figment or something. Figment XR, there was nothing that even did that. And it's like, come on guys, like you can monitor my walls. You can't just put a picture that on my wall that I can choose to have there. Like you can't remember this. You can't do that for me.
Yeah. So this is like the future, like part of the future. It's like you're in your room, you're sitting there, you're bored, you have your headset on, you're maybe in some other VR game, and then you're like, I don't have enough stuff going on, so I'm gonna also play Wordle and other like little games. Maybe there will be Sudoku next.
Oh, definitely. If it's not out in a couple of weeks, I'd be shocked.
Well, is there anything else we want to say about Wordle?
I was just thinking that it's kind of interesting that on the same day we got a free game that does one little tiny thing very well, and then we got Freeland, which is this giant mega game that does everything, both for free on the same day.
That is a very good point. I'm excited. Did you go into Freeland at all yet, Assassin?
I actually was
did not yet.
downloading it when I was logging into the podcast, so it's
Nice.
I'm sure it's downloaded behind
I
me right
would
now.
be playing it if I had my headset.
You can do it on PC.
That's true. But they said that was not a good way to do it.
They suggested we didn't.
And so we have a little welcome question thing for Assassin 32, but I have to say before we move on, that I played Demeo this last weekend, and we played with 4 of us, and I was playing in mixed reality, and the Quest 3 really is, the pass-through is so much better, and I love it so much because it also will do like the room scale, and it puts the things on your wall. There's like a little dinosaur thingy hanging from the ceiling. There's like posters that are on like your walls, and what I loved about it is I can pace around the room while I'm playing instead of having to sit, which I really appreciate because Demeo sometimes goes a really long time and I'm a very fidgety person. So I was like pacing around, looking at the board. I can make the board big or small. And anyway, I just had to mention that because Demeo,
I totally get that. Mixed reality can be just so impressive. I still remember when they did an update in Quest 3, they just clarified the mixed reality. It just looked a lot crisper, a lot clearer. And I got a text and I didn't even think about taking my headset off to look at it. I just reached over, picked it up, looked at it, responded and set it down. And I went, what did I just do?
Yeah.
We can do that now.
That's pretty freaking awesome. Lipnox, do you want to ask Assassin 32 his special welcome question?
So to welcome our good friend, one of the absolute best question asking people in the world, So somebody else is going to start asking. You have to ask questions now. We got him here. So I got to ask a question now. I'm taking over his spot. But you know what I wanted to know, just to introduce himself? I wanted to know what his 3 absolute favorite VR games that he likes to play recreationally, hopefully. What's his Demeo? Give me 3 of them.
So I kind of breaking this down into categories. For PC VR, it is the standard answer of Half-Life Alyx is just incredible. It's just mind-blowing. The way it looks, the way it plays, the details. If you have a computer that can run it, and I've kind of got a mid-range, and it's impressive on mid-range. So for PC, it's definitely Half-Life Alyx. On Quest, if I am just hanging out and I think I want to get into VR, I always reach for Dungeons of Eternity.
Nice.
It's just time and time again. It's so great to get in there with 2 random people I don't know. I've made a bunch of different friends in there, just hanging
You're so
out,
brave.
killing stuff, and it's fun. And I've had literally not one negative experience in VR in Dungeons of Eternity. And I think because the game costs money, you don't end up with a ton of little kids in there screaming. And then I think the next one, and it's kind of a standard answer too, if I'm going to play with other people, and I kind of plan to play with other people, it's going to be Walkabout Mini Golf.
Walkabout's so good.
It's just so hard to beat, and it works so well, and we can just go in and fly and find balls, and it is a that's what she said generator.
That is true. That is
it's
very
incredible.
true.
But the hidden balls, the puzzle on the hard course for finding your new putter. The courses are just beautiful. Even just finding the skeletons on some of the courses is a lot of fun.
The little hidden gems.
And Nat and I talked about it before. There's actually people that do hide and seek in Walkabout Mini Golf.
Yeah, that's so fun.
Just a great game.
It amazes me how much DLC they've got. And I think they just came out with like Wallace and Gromit or something recently. Yeah. And I'm just like, this is awesome. They are just completely missioning it. The most simplistic $10, $15 golf game or mini putt game. And it's the only one you'll ever need down.
Yeah,
and they'll just release content for $3 for tons of content continuously over and over again. And you're just like, all right, if I want to keep playing, the investment is as much as I want to spend. Like I used to buy Rock Band songs for $3. I can buy a whole mini putt track for $3 in this game.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's like branded to some theme too. Like that's amazing. But I do have to tell Assassin something that's going to hurt his soul. So like I'm pretty sure it was you guys. Someone gave me Dungeons of Eternity, and I played it for like half an hour, and I didn't like it at all. I'm sorry.
So painful. Sad.
And I'm the one that likes Hitman, so maybe I just don't know the right games.
It's funny because it reminded me of like the little dungeony games in Rec Room. Like it really felt like that to me playing it.
Yeah.
Except, a more realized version, I guess. So I'm surprised you didn't like it.
Was it pretty early on?
I didn't know it was this hype game until after I played it, and then realized, oh, everyone loves this game, and I thought it was some random indie game that wasn't working for me.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Well, like you don't have to like a game that everyone else likes.
I need to give it another chance. Maybe I just need to, fix the frame.
We should jump in together and play some because it's so much fun, and they've added so much to it. There's kind of puzzles now and traps that'll kill you, and for people like Jay who is not a fan of spiders, you can go in there, and they added an arachnophobia mode that I thought meant that you would get tons of spiders. It actually takes out all the spiders and replaces them with these little jelly blobs that jump and do the same thing that spiders do, but it's not a spider.
Nice.
Yeah, it's fun. I've met so many people in there.
Well, this has been so great, and so happy to officially welcome Assassin32 to the Full Dive team. And I want to say, everyone, come join our Discord server because you can ask questions for the Q&A section, and we will answer them on the podcast as we did at the beginning of this episode. And you can also
hopefully not 100 more than that. Hopefully we'll limit it less than 100 going forward.
We're not going to do 100. We're going to just do, a few per episode. And you can also provide suggestions to influence which games we're playing and talk about on the podcast. All that kind of stuff. Maybe, I feel like we're going to get back into live streaming so you can, talk to us about that, what you want to see. If you're listening to the podcast, consider checking out the YouTube channel where you can see our beautiful faces. And if you're watching us on YouTube, you can take us on the go on audio platforms for your commute or other daily activities, washing dishes, all that kind of stuff. And thank you so much for listening and joining us today on our first episode where we have not had J-Brat, which is very
Wait, where is
sad.
he? He wasn't here?
He's in Florida.
He's in Florida at a Jonas Brothers concert.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
And remember, everyone, when it comes to VR, you have to dive on in.
Dive on in.